Cruise ships are full of secrets the crew will never tell you. Whether you're in a luxury suite or a tiny interior cabin, danger could be just behind the door. Some mistakes could cost you hundreds of dollars. Others could get you kicked off mid-cruise. We're talking fines, fire hazards, safety violations, and even lifetime bans. Today, we're exposing 17 things cruise passengers keep doing in their cabins, so you don't end up making a vacation-ruining mistake. Stay tuned, because some of these rules are things almost everyone breaks. First up, let's talk about a cruise cabin trap you probably never thought twice about. Cruise ships are full of hidden secrets, and the minibar is one of the most expensive ones. You see a chilled soda or that tiny bottle of whiskey calling your name, it looks innocent enough, right? But here's the truth. Even with a beverage package, those minibar snacks and drinks are not covered. And that means one thing: surprise charges showing up on your account that nobody warned you about. Cruise lines count on passengers making this mistake, and it works every time. Instead, hit the buffet, grab a drink at the pool bar, or order in with room service. All of that's included. There's no need to fall into the overpriced minibar trap. So resist the temptation, dodge the hidden fees, and use that cash for something way better later on. This one's huge. No smoking in your cabin, period. That means absolutely nothing. No smoke, no exceptions. Cigs, vapes, cigars, even that legal at-home stuff. It's all banned. Cruise lines have a strict zero-tolerance policy for smoking indoors or on balconies. Why? Because a small flame can mean a massive fire hazard at sea. And trust me, cruise ship fires spread fast. There are designated smoking areas. Use them. Don't risk everything. They're well ventilated and far safer, for you and everyone else. Bottom line, don't light up in your room. You could get kicked off the ship. All right, let's talk about respecting your home away from home. Your cruise ship cabin. I know, it's tempting to go full-on party mode when you're on vacation, but remember, this isn't your college dorm room. We're talking about treating your cabin with a little bit of respect. That means no taping decorations to the walls, no hammering nails to hang pictures, and definitely no using those sticky hooks that could rip the paint off. Think about it this way. Would you do any of that stuff in a hotel room? Probably not. Keep it clean, keep it classy, and leave the decorating to the professionals. Hands off those fluffy robes. Okay, this next one is a classic cruise ship mistake. Pocketing those plush robes, comfy slippers, or those oh-so-soft towels. I know they feel like they were made for royalty, but resist the urge, my friends. Here's the deal. Most of the items you'll find in your cabin are there for your use during the cruise, but they're not souvenirs. Cruise lines are usually pretty cool about you taking home those little toiletries like shampoo, conditioner, and soap. But when it comes to the bigger items, just leave them be. Trust me, you'll find way better souvenirs in the ports of call than a used bathrobe. Don't let your cabin become a full-blown wind tunnel. This one's wild. Got a balcony cabin? This tip could save you from a serious mid-cruise disaster. Most cruisers don't know about this until something goes flying across the room. Never, and I mean never, open your cabin door and balcony door at the same time. That sudden air pressure shift can slam doors, toss papers, or worse, injure someone. So next time you're enjoying that sea breeze, keep one door closed or risk chaos. Never sit, never stand. Not even lean on your cruise balcony railing. Here's why. It might feel harmless, but one slip could turn your dream cruise into a nightmare. Those railings look sturdy, but they're not made to hold body weight. And let's be honest, no one came on vacation to see you dangling over the ocean. If you've got kids or teens with you, this rule is even more important. Lock that balcony door anytime you're not watching them. Seriously. So soak in the view, take a deep breath. Just keep both feet firmly on deck. Alright, let's talk about the amazing people who work tirelessly to keep those cruise ships sparkling clean. The cabin attendants. These unsung heroes are the backbone of your cruise experience, ensuring that every corner of your cabin is spotless and inviting. These folks work incredibly hard, often for long hours, to make sure your cabin is a haven of comfort and cleanliness. They start their day early and often work late into the night, all to ensure that you have a pleasant stay. So let's show them a little love and respect, shall we? A simple thank you or a friendly smile can go a long way in making their day a bit brighter. That means being mindful of the messes we make, putting our trash in the bins provided, and maybe even giving those dirty towels a quick tidy up. Small actions like these can make their job a lot easier. and show that you appreciate their hard work. And speaking of showing appreciation, don't forget to tip your cabin attendant. A little extra cash can make a big difference in their lives and is a tangible way to say thank you. Gratuities are a huge part of their income, and a little bit of generosity goes a long way. Many of these workers rely on tips to support their families back home, so your kindness can have a far-reaching impact. Treat your cabin attendant with the same courtesy you'd show any other hardworking individual, and you'll be sure to have a positive and enjoyable experience on board. Remember, a little kindness and respect can make your cruise even more memorable for everyone involved. Okay, this next tip might seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people forget about the magical powers of the Do Not Disturb and Makeup Room signs. These little signs are like the unsung heroes of the cruise ship cabin world, and they can save you from some potentially awkward situations. Let's start with the Do Not Disturb sign. This bad boy is your best friend when you're trying to catch some Z's, enjoying a romantic evening in, or just need a little privacy. Now, on the flip side, we have the Makeup Room sign. Hang it on your door handle before you head out for the day, and you'll come back to a freshly made bed, clean towels, and maybe even a cute towel animal or two. Alright folks, let's talk about packing for your cruise. I know, you want to look your best for those formal nights and Instagram-worthy photo shoots, but there are some things you should definitely leave at home. First and foremost on the do not bring list are irons and steamers. These bad boys are considered fire hazards on board, and for good reason. Next up, we have surge-protected power bars and extension cords. These might seem harmless enough, but they can actually overload the ship's electrical system. So before you zip up that suitcase, double-check the cruise line's list of prohibited items. Alright folks, this next one is super important, especially in this day and age. Even if it's legal where you live, CBD oil and other CBD products are a big no-no on most cruise ships. Cruise lines operate under strict maritime laws, and many of them have a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to CBD. They don't mess around, people. We're talking about potential fines, getting kicked off the ship at the next port, and even facing a lifetime ban from the cruise line. I know it seems harsh, especially if you rely on CBD for medical reasons. But the bottom line is that cruise lines are playing it safe, and it's their ship, their rules. So, if you're planning on bringing CBD on board, think again. It's simply not worth the risk. Alright, let's talk about keeping your valuables safe and sound on board. When you're on a cruise, your cabin becomes your home away from home, and just like at home, you want to make sure your precious items are secure. Now, I'm not saying that cruise ships are hotbeds of theft, but it's always better to be safe than sorry, right? With so many people around, it's easy to misplace things or have them accidentally picked up by someone else. That's where Cabin Safe comes in handy. It's a small but mighty tool that can give you peace of mind throughout your journey. Think of it as your own personal Fort Knox at sea. It's designed to keep your valuables protected from prying eyes and wandering hands. This little metal box might not look like much, but it's the perfect place to stash your most valuable possessions. Your passport, cash, credit cards, jewelry, and any other important documents you don't want to risk losing. It's always a good idea to keep these items locked away when you're not using them. And here's a pro tip. Take a photo of your passport and other important documents and store them in a secure cloud service like Google Drive or Dropbox. This way, even if something happens to the physical copies, you'll have backups accessible from anywhere. So, take advantage of that Cabin Safe, keep your valuables secure, enjoy your cruise knowing that your belongings are in good hands. With everything safely stored, you can truly relax and make the most of your vacation without any worries. Alright folks, this next one is another safety tip, and it's non-negotiable. When it comes to your cruise ship cabin, open flames are a big no-no, and I mean it. No candles, no incense, no lighters, no matches, no nothing. Cruise ships are designed with safety in mind, and open flames are a potential fire hazard. Remember, you're on a floating city, and things can escalate quickly, so leave the pyrotechnics at home and embrace the flame-free environment of your cabin. Your nose might miss the aroma, but your peace of mind and the safety of everyone on board will thank you for it. Alright, let's talk about those magical cruise ship toilets for a moment. These bad boys operate on a vacuum system that's powerful enough to flush away your, well, you know, but not much else really. So here's the deal. The only thing that should be going down that toilet is toilet paper, nothing else. Trust me, You don't want to be responsible for clogging the system and creating a plumbing nightmare for yourself and your fellow passengers on board. So, next time you're in the bathroom, remember the golden rule of cruise ship toilets. Flush responsibly and keep it simple. Alright, let's talk about cruise ship etiquette, specifically when it comes to being a good neighbor. Remember, you're sharing a floating city with thousands of other people, so a little consideration goes a long way. First and foremost, let's talk about noise levels. Keep the volume down on your TV, music, and conversations, especially late at night and early in the morning. Not everyone keeps the same sleep schedule, and nobody wants to be woken up by your impromptu karaoke session at 3 a.m. Next up, let's talk about doors. Those cabin doors can be heavy, and slamming them shut is a surefire way to annoy your neighbors. By being mindful of your noise levels and door etiquette, you'll be well on your way to being the best cruise ship neighbor ever. Alright, let's talk about balcony privacy, or rather the lack thereof. While your balcony might feel like your own private oasis at sea, it's important to remember that it's not exactly the most private space on the ship. Think about it. Your balcony is visible from other balconies, decks above, and even from the water. So, if you're planning on having a private conversation, changing into your swimsuit, or engaging in any other activities you wouldn't want your fellow passengers to witness, it's best to head inside your cabin. After all, what happens on the balcony doesn't always stay on the balcony. Alright folks, let's talk about laundry on a cruise ship. Now I know what you're thinking, laundry is the last thing I want to think about on vacation. But the reality is that sometimes you need to freshen up your wardrobe, especially on longer cruises. Now while most cruise ships offer laundry services, they can be a bit pricey. So it's tempting to try and air dry your clothes on your balcony or in your cabin. But here's the thing. Hanging wet clothes on your balcony railing is generally frowned upon, and for good reason. So what's the best way to handle laundry on a cruise? Take advantage of the ship's laundry services, pack light and do laundry at home before and after your cruise. Alright folks, this last one is especially important for families traveling with young children. When it comes to cruise ship safety, never ever leave children unattended in your cabin. And yes, that includes even if you're just stepping out onto the balcony for a moment. Cruise ships are large and often crowded, and it's easy for a child to wander off or get into trouble if left unsupervised. Now, I know that accidents happen, and sometimes you need to step out of the cabin for a moment. If that's the case, make sure your child is supervised by another adult, or contact the cruise line's guest services to inquire about babysitting options. And there you have it, folks. 17 things you should never do in your cruise ship cabin. I know it's a lot to remember, but trust me, these tips will help you avoid some major headaches and ensure a smooth and enjoyable cruise experience. Remember, a little preparation and common sense go a long way. So, pack smart, be respectful of your fellow passengers and the ship's crew, and most importantly, have an amazing time exploring the high seas. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen someone do in a cruise ship cabin? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more awesome cruise tips and tricks.